Jen from Scrapping Under the Influence. I am here with a new project for Country Craft Creation using the brand new Doodlebug Happy Healing. So this is a very simple project. This collection is very specific for the most part. There's a lot of like good elements to make get well soon cards, that kind of thing. But when I was trying to decide what I wanted to do with this, I was like, you know what, let's do like a health journal, okay? So somebody going through cancer treatment, you know, recovering from an accident, recovering from, you know, surgery, like knee surgery or something where they could record, you know, what led up to it and then their recovery process, okay? So this is 8 3/8 by 6 1/2. It's got a 3/4 inch spine. So like I said, it's not real huge. I've used this and that border strips. Of course, the 12 by 12 paper collection, another border strip. This and that sticker sheet. These are both from the Chit Chat, and this is from one of the shape sprinkles, and I can't think of the name off the top of my head. But when you open this up, and I put magnets on both of these, and somehow managed to line it up where they keep sticking to each other in the middle, which is okay, because then actually I didn't need to do a tie closure on this, but that's okay. Anyway, you've got two sides. The layout of both sides is identical. So on this front page, I've used the border strips and then a couple of the patterns, some odds and ends and Chit Chat pieces. We've got a couple of big photo mats here just to kind of, you know, document. We've got the little journaling cut aparts. This on the road to recovery is from the this and that sticker sheet. And then I've used, and this one keeps, I messed with it too many times and now the washi tape doesn't want to stick. So this is a Doodlebug Traveler's Notebook, and I talk about, you know, using the Doodlebug ones, Graphic 45, or how to, an option to make your own inserts for this. But there's just a little belly band here, so you can take this out to easily, you know, slip this in your purse and take it with you to an appointment or something like that. And I've got these little, basically this little slip cover is not glued down. It's just attached with the washi tape. So you could take this off if you needed an additional journal. Like if you know, like me, tend to write kind of huge in these things and you've included lots of pictures or notes or whatever, you know, you would have the option to swap this out for a new one if it got full. And then this just slides, I say that as it, of course, now doesn't want to, slides under that little belly band there to hold it in place and then closes up like so. And then this repeats on the opposite side. Same thing. I've got my little traveler's notebook with the slip cover with the washi tape to hold it all together. This one's positioned a little bit differently because it goes to this other outside edge. Again, we've got our cut aparts. This and this are both from the this and that sticker sheet, as I'm apparently slightly out of frame, not paying attention. This is from the bits and pieces and the Chit Chat. And it's a very easy project. It goes together super, super fast. You absolutely don't have to use magnets in this. I just like using my magnets. I like that little sound when they snap back together through the paper. I don't know. I'm weird like that. But yeah, so that's it. As always, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified when I post new videos. Also, if you end up making this or any of my projects, please share them with me on Scrapping Under the Influence on Facebook. And you can also tag me on Instagram at Scrapping Under the Influence. And of course, you can share them at in Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations as well. So let's get to it. Okay, so to start, you're going to need two pieces of chipboard, 6 1/4 by 8 3/8, and then one piece, 8 3/8 by 3/4. I have lost my little pokey thing. Get the backing off my tape somewhere here in my mess. Oh All right, so you're going to cover the back sides of all of these with tape. And then cardstock for the first two is going to be 10 3/8 by 8 1/4. So you need 2 pieces that size. And we're going to use our 1-inch spacers to start off. And you're just going to lay this down like so. And again. So, I'm going to swap the 1 inch for the 1.5 inches. The piece to wrap our spine is going to be 3 3/4 by 10 7/8, or 10 3/8. I'm sorry, 10 3/8. Okay, we're done with our spacers. Let's get this just out of the way here. So what we want to do, let's see if I can angle that so you can kind of see. What you want to do is take your bone folder and you're going to go around the outside edge of your chipboard, okay? Sorry. I know black cardstock's always a tough one. Okay, because you can see how that's now defined. Okay? Like so. And of course, get the ends. And what this is going to do is make it easier when we go to fold this around, because it is the lightweight chipboard, it's still really bendy. So that's just going to help you to wrap without either inadvertently bending your chipboard or causing your cardstock to crack, which artisan typically doesn't crack, but like the linen fibers sometimes, if you don't do this, will kind of pop up. Super easy, you just sand them down, but still, it's always better when that doesn't happen. Okay, so you can see we're getting that outline. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and fold around. And you can do this with like the normal medium weight chipboard if you want. It's definitely helpful even in that case, but it makes it a lot easier when you're using the lightweight to bend your cardstock around. Okay, so we need to cut out the squares on the corner. I'm going to do mine like this, where I'm going to miter like that. And then I can come back, fold this end in, that is, and miter like so. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the ends on this one. So I'm pushing up against the chipboard and then over and burnishing down like so. We're going to flip that back pretty side up, and we're going to go along the edge of that chipboard again. And then I am going to take 1/4 inch tape and put it along those outside edges, because this is where our covers are going to attach. Okay, so both of these, same thing, we need to cut out these corners. So I'm going to do it just like I did with the other piece. Then I'm going to miter. Okay, and then fold over, miter again. Okay. Okay, and then fold that in, get that other side. Okay, I literally spent like 20 minutes with the shop vac the other day cleaning up scraps of paper, so I'm trying to be really careful and not throwing them everywhere like I typically do. Okay. So on both of these, I'm going to go around this outside edge. Like so. Okay, and then we're going to get the backing off all the way around. Okay. So you're going to run glue along the edge of the chipboard, and we're going to push up against, over, and burnish it down. Against the edge of the chipboard, in the middle. I know some people will go over their score tape with glue. I don't do that. I've had bad luck with that causing the tape to kind of lift up. So I don't do that. And the reason that I use the tape and the glue on this part is so that when I go to put this down, that tape is going to grab immediately, and then I can burnish that down with the glue, and then we know it's going to be very, very solid. Okay, so backing off again. And then again, along the edge of the chipboard, in that open area, up against the cardstock, over and down. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to take both of my cover pieces and my spine piece. And I'm going to take on the spine piece one side, and I'm going to get the backing off the tape. And again, we're doing this with tape and glue for the same reason, because this will grab immediately. So you're not going to accidentally have your cover, when you're putting this piece on, slide because it's not totally dry. Which I can tell you has happened to me more times than I can count. Okay, so we are going to go about a 1/16 of an inch away from the spine. Okay, there's just a very slight space. Burnish that down. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to burnish that spine kind of down in between the two pieces. And then I have a piece of cardstock. This is one of my scraps. So this is 4.5 by 8 1/4. I've covered the back of this one completely in tape. Find an end to start on to get the backing off. Be very helpful. Okay, and the reason that, oh, crying out loud. I gotta figure out where my other little picky tool went, because I don't like this. The reason you want to do tape on this piece rather than glue. The rest of it you can do glue or tape or the combination like I do. It doesn't really matter. But the reason you want to do that on this piece to reinforce is, if you use glue, a lot of times it will bubble when you go to put it down. And you don't always get it adhered all the way down on every edge. Using the tape, you're going to get every single edge, okay? So I'm going to just center this up, top to bottom, right to left. You're only going to have about a 1/16 of an inch top to bottom, and it should overhang the edges here by about at least 1/4 to 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch would be ideal. Okay, and burnish that down. And then we're going to come in and burnish again where our spine is. Just like so. And you see how then you get that definition, and then you can just fold. I always pinch. And there's our base. Okay, I'm going to move that off to the side for a minute. Okay, so for the little flaps on the inside, okay, you're going to need two pieces that are 1 3/4 inch wide. I did not trim these to length yet, and you'll see why here in a minute. You need two pieces that are 4.5 by 6 3/4, because these are going to be pockets on top of a flap. I did cut them just a hair under 6 3/4. We're going to score these at 1/2 inch on each side. I'm sorry, on 3 sides, not each side. So 2 short sides, 1 long side. Okay. Okay. Next up, we have our flaps. You need two pieces that are 6 3/4 by 8 1/4. Okay. Both of these, you're going to put the 6 3/4 at the top of your scoreboard. And yes, mine's sideways. You're going to score 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch. And you're going to do that on both. So again, 1/2 inch, 3/4. Okay. And our last piece is going to be 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, I think. Hold on, let me measure that just to make sure I didn't cut it wrong. No, I'm sorry. 8¼ by 6½. Yeah, it's going to be one of those mornings. Okay, so 6½ at the top of the scoreboard. I'm going to score 1/2 inch and at 3/4. 1/2 inch, 3/4. Okay. So let's go ahead and miter our pieces. So for the 2 flaps, you're going to miter from that outside edge. I'm sorry, from the outside score line out. First score line. Like so. And the pockets, you're going to miter at the top. And at the top, and then you're going to cut through where your score lines cross. Okay, so again, top and top, across on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to grab one of each piece. I'm going to start with my pocket and my smaller of the 2 flaps. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to start on my left-hand side. So this, the smaller flap will be the one that goes underneath. So with my score lines on the right-hand side, I'm going to put my pocket down on this side. With the bumpy side up, so when it opens, the pocket's on the back side. Okay. Actually, since I'm doing it nice and flat, I'm going to go ahead and do all 3 sides at once. You can absolutely do this after you put the flap in the book, but I'm going to do it now. So, okay, burnish that down. I'm going to let that dry for a second. I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish my score lines. And then same thing, we're going to fold and burnish our score lines. Okay. I did this right. For some reason, I just had like that mental hiccup where I'm like, did I just do this wrong? No, we're fine. Okay. So this is going to go center top to bottom at the outside edge. And I do have it folded flat. We do have our little 1/4 inch gusset here, but I have it folded flat to make sure I'm lining it up right. Okay. Then you can come back and pop that gusset back up. I'm going to do it the same way with this one. I've got the gusset folded flat. You're going to go just a little bit in from your spine. You don't want it right on the spine. And then you can pop your gusset back up, and there's one side done. Okay. We're going to repeat for the other side. So this time, our shorter, this is our shorter one, right? Our shorter one is going to go over here and fold this way. Is it? No, just kidding. It's going this way. So I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish my pocket. Yes, okay, sorry sorry, I was looking at that one. Didn't make sense. Adhere this one down. Okay, we'll fold and burnish our score lines again. Okay, so this one is going to go on the inside again, just like we did with the other. And burnish our score lines on our other flap. And get this one in the same way. Okay, so to make the little slip cover for Traveler's Notebook, grab my scoreboard really quickly, and I am going to score this at about 5/8 on one end. Okay. I will wrap that and then attach that with washi tape. And then I'm going to kind of see about where I need to score the next one. So I'm not really measuring so much at this point as I am just trying to get an idea of where I want to score this. Okay. And then I'll cut that, not with the big trimmer because I can't cut that small with the big trimmer. Okay. Okay. So now, make sure I'm right side up. I'm going to take that. Line it up. Find the end of the washi tape, which is always easier said than done for me. I'm going to start on this end. Okay, and it's washi tape, it doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to fold around and just push down and get to my other side. I'm going to go ahead, fold that over, do the same thing again with the washi tape. There we go. And then when you want to swap this out, and you can do this with even the ones you put in the actual Traveler's Notebooks themselves, when you're ready to switch that out, you can. And this is just going to slide underneath. It does get a little bit tighter when you do have that on there. And that will catch right there. You can decorate the front of this if you want. And then it just closes up like so. And then my other side keeps coming undone. I messed with it enough times. There we go. And there we go. Easy peasy. Okay. So these two pieces. These are basically going to be the little belly band that you're going to slip your notebook under, okay? So you've got a couple of options here. There are traveler's notebook inserts. This is a Doodlebug one. These are 4 1/4 by 8 1/4, which is why we have that little bit extra on the height on these to make sure that this will fit. And then what you can do with those, rather than matting those completely, like if you wanted to be able to swap them out, is you just make a little jacket for it. So this one, I did just make a little jacket with the Happy Healing paper. And I cut it, I believe, to 9 1/2. And then just adhere it on the inside with squirt or washi tape so that I can take this off. Okay. Another option, the Graphic 45 Traveler Notebook inserts come in craft and black, and they're the same size. They work too. The other option is file folders. So these are just some from Dollar Tree. And what you do is you're going to trim it down. So I'm going to trim this to 8 1/4. And then with the folded side facing out, I'm going to trim this to 4 1/4. And there you've got like the jacket for a traveler's notebook. All you have to do at that point is take copy paper. I cut the copy paper to 8 1/8 by, what did I cut it to? No, 8 1/4. Sorry, 8 1/4 by 8 1/8. Okay. I line it up. I stack my pages together, center them up, line it up in here, and then I sew. On the sewing machine, I sew the papers in there. And then you've got your little insert, and it'll be a thinner insert unless you think you can get your sewing machine through thicker paper. A thicker stack of paper. I just went with, how many sheets do I have in here? Oh, I've got 1, 2, 3, 5 sheets, so 10 pages total. And then you can still do the little slipcover method. You could mat it. If you've got super cute folders, you could leave it as is. But that's an alternative to buying the traveler's notebooks, is you can make these inserts yourself. Okay, I'm going to go with the Doodlebug ones. And what you're going to want to do is take your insert, put this into the back of it, and close it. And then you're going to fold it over your insert to figure out where that fold needs to be to attach it into the book. Okay, so it's literally just loose in the back here. And then what I'm going to do too is kind of I don't want it to be too tight, so I'm going to test it on my one. I've got my little slip cover on, and I think we're good. Yes, we are. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my traveler's notebook in here, make sure this closes. In fact, I'm going to leave it about 1/8 of an inch from that fold line. Okay, which in this case ends up actually being right where this comes in. But just to be safe, I am still going to, well, if I can quit moving this silly thing, I'm going to draw a line. Okay, that line is where I need to line this up when I glue it in. Okay, you can trim these shorter if you want to. You can leave them. I'm going to leave them longer simply because, number one, they're going to get matted over. And number two, it's just that much more grip for an element that you're going to take something in and out of. Okay, there you go. The other side is much simpler because it's going to go up against this outside edge. So you don't actually even need to measure where that's going to go, but you're still going to want to do the same thing with your little belly band strip. Like so, to fold over where that needs to go. Okay. And then I'm just going to do the same thing again. And I'm going to go about 1/8 of an inch over from the score line there. There we go. And that is the base of your book. You can do magnets in here if you want to. In fact, I think I'm going to, so give me 1 second. Okay, so I've got my magnets. I've got tape on both sides. So I'm just going to figure out where that needs to go. Push it down. Got my next set. Okay, there we go. All right. There. No. No, that's not what I meant to do. That is not what I meant to do. It needs to go over on this side. Okay, and there you go. Now you can